Today on Judge Faith, a gospel artist demands a refund from the music producer she claims ruined her recording.
The instrumental version was where there was a little issue.
When she sent it to me, she was very displeased at the work from another studio. That's not the final mix.
When you say that's not the final mix, you're saying that's not the final version you sent her?
And later, Judge Faith asks Grammy-winning gospel producer Aaron Lindsay to offer insight on the testimony.
It clearly shows the original and the show mix, which is what she would use to perform, are back slow.
Did he say there were technical issues?
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Stephanie Huff says she hired the defendant to mix her latest gospel song, but the track she got back was unusable. She's suing for a refund for a professionally mixed song. Defendants Kenny and Wendy Robinson say they don't know because Stephanie was involved in every step of the process and approved the final product.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Huff versus Robinson and Robinson.
Thank you, Juan. Stephanie Huff,
Yes, ma'am.
you were suing the defendants Kenny Robinson and Wendy Robinson
Yes.
for $500 refund for a professionally mixed song,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? Okay, give me some background, ma'am. Tell me what's going on.
I had contacted them about mixing and mastering a song about 2 years ago, Hold to God's Unchanging Hand, and they did a good job, and we've had formulated a good business relationship. It was always cordial.
So you are a singer?
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
a gospel
I sing
artist?
gospel, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how long have you been singing, performing as an artist?
All my life, but professionally about 10 years.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are a producer, sir?
Yes.
Okay, where are you based?
In Atlanta, Georgia.
In Atlanta. How long have you been producing music?
Since 1985.
A long time.
Yeah.
Who are some of the artists that you've worked with?
Well, my ministry is more for the local artists, although I've worked with people like Jonathan Nelson. I worked a little bit on his last album.
Okay.
But, you know, so.
Local in Atlanta. Atlanta has a large music industry, and you are his wife, and you work with him as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so you are based where? In South Carolina?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So you
ma'am.
you send the music digitally to him?
Well, actually, I had sent it to him in the mail on a flash drive.
On a flash drive? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And the first time he worked on a song for you, it was fine?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the name of that song?
Hold to God's Unchanging Hand. It worked out really well. We didn't have any problems, but unfortunately this time there was an issue that I had with the instrumental version of the song.
What did you hire him to do, and when did you do that?
I had hired him to mix and master a song entitled This World for me in November of 2015. I had wired the $500 that they requested.
Just one song?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was he supposed to do to that one song?
He was to mix and master that song for me. I sent that money out on November the 30th, and he did let me know that they have receipts. I do have a receipt here where... And
you don't contest that you received $500, right?
No.
Okay.
Not received.
And when you say mix and master, what he was supposed to do, according to your statement that you submitted to the court, he was going to cut 2 tracks for you, right? One with vocals and an instrumental version.
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what happened with those 2 tracks?
Well, actually, the vocal version that he emailed to me, it came out very good. You know, I was satisfied. But the instrumental version was where there was a little issue. And I do have in one of the text messages where he did let me know that he was having some technical issues.
Okay.
So that might explain.
What was the issue?
The issue is that the song, it was slower in tempo, it was lagging, and I think it had been recorded at a slower rate of tempo.
Did he say there were technical issues?
Yes, I do have a text message where he did let me know that he was having technical issues.
Not in the way that she's saying it. I'm not really sure what technical issues she's
well, let me just ask you in general.
Yes.
So you sent her 2 tracks, one with vocals and one without.
Yes.
She's saying the instrumental version, there was a problem. It was slower. Is that true?
Okay. Not exactly. What I understood her to tell me is that when a producer sends the final version of a song, it's what we call a 2-track mix of the song. And I also sent the session, the file session that I used to create that. Now, what she conveyed to me was that the file session that I sent to her was playing at a different tempo. And I was trying to explain to her that from my end, that's impossible because the file session is what I create the mixes from. And she was playing it from someone else's studio with their equipment. And I just kind of tell her, I don't know what that equipment is. I'm really not responsible for that. But furthermore, that when you hire me to mix a song, the end product is that 2-track mix, not the session that I use to create it. Very much like if you hired a graphic designer to design a flyer for you, that person owes you the flyer, not the print shop session.
Yeah.
So that's what I understood she was referring to is the session. She was trying to play it, open it up at another studio, and it wasn't playing.
But now she's saying in court that there was a problem with the 2-track mix. The one with the vocals was fine, but the instrumental version was slower. Did you go back and compare to see if that was an issue?
No, actually, this is the first time I'm actually hearing that this instrumental thing. It was always made to me to be understood that the file session, she was trying to open it up at another studio, and it was not playing at the correct tempo.
Coming up, the quality of the work is examined in more detail.
I asked a friend of mine who is an expert in this industry to listen to the work that you did. You know who he is, right?
Plaintiff Stephanie Huff says the instrumental track wasn't mixed correctly. She's suing for a refund for a professionally mixed song. Defendants Kenny and Wendy Robinson say they don't know because they sent Stephanie the correct version of the mix.
May I see the text message?
Sure.
How did you send the 2-track mix back to her? On a flash drive or via email?
Both.
Okay. And did you keep a copy for yourself?
Yes, I do have a copy of the final mix. Yes.
Okay, you do have a copy of it. Now, this text is, let me just see that. Do you have this on your phone, or is this just a printout?
That's actually a printout of where he was saying
he said that he just got back in the studio. There were some technical issues, so the email was just resent. Technical issues sending the email? Or technical issues with what?
No, that was, again, I should go back. At the time when we started working, when she asked me to work on the song, we were purchasing a new house. So we were in transition, and I let her know, and she was fine with that. And the technical issues was, now that we were in the new house, I was setting back up the studio.
Okay.
So yes, but it was, it was just getting everything.
What day did you send her the song? The 2-track mix?
Okay. On April 7th, I sent her a instrumental according to my email log.
Okay, so what do you want me to listen to? You want me to listen to what you sent him?
Right.
And you want me to listen to a sample of the 2 tracks, one with vocals and the instrumental version. And you say the problem is with the instrumental version, it's much slower.
Right. Actually, I have the vocal version that I can play for you, and then afterwards I'll play the instrumental version, and then you'll be able to hear the difference.
Let's take a listen.
Okay.
This is the original. Okay. People speaking. So you added the drums and the horns.
I added the drums.
Sounds great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now we have, this is the instrumental version that you said where the problem lies, right?
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
instrumental version. And the problem is, you said it's slower.
Yes, ma'am.
And it doesn't have the drums. Some things are missing. I'll take a listen to that now.
Okay.
So the instrumental version is definitely slower.
Right.
So here's what we're going to do. I asked a friend of mine who is an expert in this industry to listen to the testimony in the case today and listen to the work that you did and give his expert opinion on what could have happened here. Aaron Lindsay has been in this industry for 25 years. You know who he is, right?
Yes,
Music
absolutely.
producer, songwriter,
Wow.
composer. He's a 6-time Grammy Award-winning producer. He's won 13 Dove Awards, 7 Stellar Awards. 3 times he was Billboard Songwriter of the Year. He's worked with Marvin Sapp, Yolanda Adams, India Arie, Israel Houghton, just to name a few. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Coming up on Judge Faith, friend of the court, Grammy-winning gospel producer Aaron Lindsay provides expert insight.
There should have been 2 versions that were identical to that second one that we heard, but that's not there. So in my opinion, there's only 2 things that could have happened.
Plaintiff Stephanie Huff says the track Kenny mixed was unusable. She's suing for a refund for a professionally mixed song. Defendants Kenny and Wendy Robinson say they don't know because Stephanie approved the final product.
This is an interesting case. You've heard all
Yes,
the
it is.
testimony?
Yeah, I heard
You've
it all.
listened to the tracks?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how the drums didn't make it to the instrumental. And in my opinion, either it bounced down in the mix of the TV track, or someone else made the instrumental.
Okay. I can tell you that is not the final mix. I have a printout of during the process of doing the project, I was constantly sending her test recordings because what we left out was that when she sent it to me, she was very displeased at the work from another studio.
When you say that's not the final mix, you're saying that's not the final version you sent her?
Right, that's not the final mix. I've sent her many mixes as this would show you that during the course of...
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When you made the instrumental, did you make an instrumental that had live drums on it? Because that one didn't.
Okay, there are no live drums at all.
Or the drums that were on the mixed master.
Right, and what I was going to say, when she sent me the original track, you know, it was just a loop. She just had a loop on it, and I felt she had all the live musicians playing on it, and I felt like it was just weird to have all these live musicians playing, and then you had this just simple loop. So I, again, with no extra charge, I said, let me just put some more drums in there.
Did those drums make it to the instrumental?
That's not the final mix.
The second thing is, how did it get slowed back down?
You know.
Because
Exactly. And I do have in my phone the actual email that he sent me that is dated for April the 7th. So that's when I got which he says is not the final, it's the final.
in our industry, when you mix a song or you record a song, it's very simple to record everything, mix everything, and then just turn off the lead vocal and print the same thing twice. You print it once with everything, and then you print it one time, just taking out that lead vocal. So there should have been 2 versions that were identical to that second one that we heard, just one without the lead vocal. But that's not there. So in my opinion, there's only 2 things that could have happened. Either you had someone slow it down or make a different version and take all the drums out, or it was bounced without the additional drums and slowed down to the original version. And
May I see your email that you say he sent you?
Yes, ma'am. I would
Because if you saw the email with the final version,
I just can't understand why I don't know why you would slow it back down to the original version, and I also don't know why you wouldn't
And this
print it
would be the one that hit
faster
right
if you
here,
like
that
the
second one.
tempo.
Right.
So
She said it's the one with 4/7, dated 4/7.
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
So
wait, that's the mix?
that's the same instrument. That big build-up.
And it's slow.
That's not there?
It's not there.
No, it's not there.
And that particular that build-up, she told me she didn't really like that.
No,
but,
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
No.
And
but it doesn't even have the cymbal crash at the end of the build-up.
Yeah, let me also say, Your Honor, when I send her the finals of everything, like I said, a lot of times it was just test copies I was sending her.
But sir, this is the final.
Sure.
This is on April 7th, the final. With all the test copies
The
and
last
everything,
course,
I don't even have to consider that. All I want to know is what the final version was. And according to Mr. Lindsay's testimony, it's much slower. And it should be slower.
That's the problem, is the tempo
Right.
that is slower. And I don't know how it got back to the original tempo, because when I lined it up, and I showed you in chambers, that the original version...
Let's pull it back up on the screen.
Yeah, the original
walk over?
version... Yeah, I'll go over. This is what apparently you sent him, is
Right.
the top.
Right.
And as you see, the song length is this long, and then it was redone faster. Sounds
Right.
better, had
Yeah.
a little more energy, more drums and everything. So it's going to be shorter because it's faster.
Right.
Well, the TV mix is back slow like the original.
Right.
And the only
exactly.
way it could have gotten there is if someone intentionally slowed it down, or we went back to the original session to just make that real quick because we
Right.
didn't have the files. Or,
Exactly.
You know, that's the only way it can happen. But it clearly shows the original and the show mix, which is what she would use to perform, are back slow. And the one that she is going to sell is faster. So she would want this to be that short and that fast.
Exactly.
Okay. So there was a problem, Mr. Robinson. There was a problem. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
That was very helpful. I appreciate
Thank you for having
coming
me.
today.
Always
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good luck. Good luck to both of you. Thank you.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
What did you want to say, ma'am? You haven't said anything this entire case. What did you want to say?
No, I just wanted to indicate that my husband has been very accommodating in just the whole process and the constant sending of the email. She did not receive it, downloading it over and over and over again. So it has been a journey in actually getting it because we've been sending her so many different things. So it could become somewhat confusion. So my concern was I hope she wasn't confusing things that, you know, that she thought was one thing and it really wasn't.
Right.
Because she couldn't download it or she
That was
wasn't
my
getting
concern as well, and that's why I wanted to see the actual email that she was sent with the song, because if that were an earlier version, if you were still testing things out, that'd be one thing. But she actually had the email from April 7th, and we were able to play that in court today. And it matched what she submitted in court as the final version that you sent her of the instrumental version. And according to Mr. Lindsay's testimony, it shouldn't be that way. It's missing things, and it's much slower. Mr. Robinson, I think we can all agree. I think Mr. Lindsay agrees. You know his work in the industry. You know who he is. I think Ms. Huff agrees based on listening to the tracks. The first track was great. You did great work. And there was just some mix-up with the second one. And I don't know, because I look at the time period. She originally sent this to you in December, and then she didn't get that final 2-track mix, that final track back in April, and you moved. So I don't know if you were working from another file or what happened, but apparently there was a mix-up with just that second track, the accompaniment. So it's not in any way saying that you don't do great work, because I think you do, based on what we heard today. But that second track is a problem. So that's why I'm going to order you to return just half of the money, of the $500 that she paid, the $250, so that she can have the work properly done on that second track. Juan is going to talk to you after the show because he thinks this is his big break. He wants to he wants to go to backup as his, you know, this is just his day job. Just for this case for the plaintiff, $250. Good luck.
Thank you. I was so excited about seeing Aaron Lindsay.
Well, he made a valid point. However, as I feel that was never the issue that the plaintiff had conveyed to me. So, because if it was just that, that's such an easy fix.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.